So I go to the interview, right? And this founder, he asked me, okay, Harry, tell me, do you know video editing? And I said, no. And he was like, dude, video editing का interview है and you don't know video editing, तो तुम आए क्यों? I was a student. I didn't had laptop. I didn't had internet connection. I barely had anything, all right? I come from a humble middle class family. I don't have any business background. Nor my dad does, nor my mom does. Family में कोई business नहीं है. ना ही मैंने कहीं सीखा है और आसपास में कुछ ऐसे लोग भी नहीं है.
Hi Harry, how are you?
Good, Manmeet. Thanks for having me over here.
Thank you so much for doing this, first of all. Okay, so before we begin, tell us something about yourself. What do you do and what your business is?
So, just for your audience, my name is Harry Ranveer, and it's been almost 3 to 4 years that we have been exclusively working with coaches, experts, and consultants to help them increase their business with the power of video marketing. So that's what we do. We do that with YouTube. We do that especially, with videos. That's what we do. And I think one of the best part that has ever happened was, of course, we started small, but I think currently, we are working with some of India's leading, coaches, consultants, and experts. So, that's one thing that I brag about and I'm super proud about.
Absolutely, and you should be,
Yeah.
I've seen your work. It's absolutely amazing. And for someone to get a testimonial from Anik Single, I think it is huge. So you should definitely brag about it.
Thank you so much. Will do.
Yes. And this is what we want to understand, that, how you started your business, what went behind it. And actually, I'll be asking you a lot of questions related to how people know you before they know your business brand. So let's dive in and tell me that how did you come up with this concept and why did you want to start the business of video marketing?
So, long journey short, I came to Pune. Again, being a student, I had to make something to make money for me. Then later, I came across several startups that I did, but every startup failed. But I got to know that running a startup and running business at this point of time, it just doesn't make sense while you are beginning, because startups and businesses are like baby. You at least need, to pour them money, time, energy, and after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that's when they start to pay back, just like raising a baby.
Yeah, right.
So that's what I realized, and I felt that this is not worth investing my time, at least at beginning, because I immediately needed money. So what should I be doing? That's when I came across through this influencer. His name was Dan Locke, and I got to know about this thing which he terms as HIS, which is high income skill. And that's when I actually felt that I should actually be having some sort of high income skill through which I can offer some value in the marketplace, and eventually market pays me because I'm offering some value to them. And that's where I joined a digital marketing course, which was NSDM, Next Gen School for Digital Marketing. It's in Pune. And later, one thing led to another. The founder himself posted a job of video editing. So I said that, ठीक है चलो मतलब करके देखते हैं, बुरे से बुरा क्या होगा. That was the scene. Then I went to the interview and something very crazy scene happened. I go to the interview, alright. Again, I was absolutely new. I knew nothing about video editing. I just knew one app which was Lumen 5. So वहाँ पे ऐसा होता है, you just have to type something and it will create the video from text. Lumen 5. Yeah.
Okay.
So I go to the interview, right? And this founder, he asked me, okay, Harry, tell me, do you know video editing? And I said, no. And he was like, dude, video editing का interview है and you don't know video editing, तो तुम आए क्यों? I was, from beginning, I was very clear. So I said that, although I don't know, but I can learn if you can teach me. And let's have this very simple, right? If I do videos for you, then only you pay me.
Oh, nice. That's a good approach.
Yeah. And that's what I said. And, then he was like, okay, cool. That makes sense. The best thing, that happened over here was I was a student. I didn't had laptop. I didn't had internet connection. I barely had anything. All right. This person himself provided me laptop. He provided me internet connection. He provided me office space to work from. And also he personally was mentoring me with every single, videos that is ऐसे edit करते हैं. I started my video editing with Filmora. So that's how I got into video editing. And again, that person name was Arpit Khurana. Then one thing led to another. I got in touch with Dev Gadve, who is positioned as India's first passionpreneur mentor. He took me under his wing and he taught me every single thing related to videos. How not just to edit videos, but use videos to make money from them. And he was a person who literally I think in 3 nights, these guys were the same, they closed 50 lakh car deal something, and that was crazy for me.
Nice.
And I learned every single thing, how he did entire behind the scenes. You know that Jacobs, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
he was right over here. And
Yeah.
that's when I entered, him.
Yeah.
And crazy, yeah. The learning was complete next level. And from, with Dave sir only, eventually with his students as my client, that's how I started my agency business. Then I trained few interns and they started working with my client. I used to train and, connect this client. I became a connecting link, and that's how it led to our agency, which is today a team of like 13 people. And we are working with some of leading experts, coaches and consultants.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have two things here. Number one, listening to your story, I absolutely feel that somewhere I relate to you, and I feel there are two things when you were starting out. There was a lot of hunger. And there was a lot of, opportunity seeking. You did not want any opportunity to go by. You just wanted it.
Yeah. At beginning, super
right.
hungry, कुछ भी चलेगा, but पैसा आना चाहिए. That
Right.
was the scene.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you said, and you touched upon a very important thing. You said that, I told them, if you are ready to make me learn, I'll work for you. And when you produce revenue, you pay me.
Yeah.
So there's an exchange of value.
Right.
And the person who's teaching you actually feels that there's no loss.
Right.
When you perform, when you make him money, that is when he pays you. So you learn in the process and you grow. And I think that's absolutely amazing approach.
Thank you so much.
And when you say that you've been working with the leading people, I definitely agree, because I know I've seen a picture where everybody is, sitting in Didi's office. It's Deepak, Gaurav Paksani, and I think two more
Avi
people.
Arya
Avi Arya
and
one
Kulwant
more.
Naki.
Yeah, you look at that picture and you feel, yeah, this boy has made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a selfie, right?
Yeah, right. I love
Got
that
it.
picture. So it's
Thank-
somewhere in my mind.
Yeah.
So absolutely, you've made it.
Thank you so much.
And beginning with your story, now I would want to know that, here you were learning, you were stepping up, you were working with people, and somewhere, if I may say, you were also employed by these people. When was the time when you cracked your first client, and how did you get them?
Usually, like people very much emphasize on this thing like cracking client and all. But for me, it was like very natural. The thing was the person, that I was interning with, I was his apprentice, Dev Gadvi, right?
Yeah.
So while I was working with him, all I did was, I just saw like what was the problem over there, and I just found solution over it. So I'll just tell you this like quick short story that even before like cracking client, how did I even came up with this business idea, right? Because
Right.
before building a business, actually comes to the question comes about the
Idea,
client.
yeah.
And what kind of client it has, what kind of problem the client has, and that's what the business is built on, right?
Absolutely.
So if I just need to talk about this problem that I had, so this scene happened, and I think even you don't know the story. So again, my relationship with Dave sir was amazing. As you know, like I was just a student. I had literally zero, like business background. हमारा relationship इतना अच्छा था कि literally, like Dave sir, he said to me that, see Harry, यू डोंट वरी अबाउट एजुकेशन, पैसे वैसे का कुछ टेंशन मत लो, तुम्हारा एजुकेशन का जो भी खर्चा होगा ए से लेके जेड तक सब कुछ मैं करूँगा, बस अपने स्किल्स पे ध्यान दो. दैट्स वॉट ही सेड टू मी एट बिगनिंग, राइट? सो मतलब इस लेवल का हमारा रिलेशनशिप था. सो एंड आई यूज टू वर्क फ्रॉम हिज होम, एंड उनका होम ऑफिस ही था. सो वन डे ही हैड लाइक मेनी मेंटीज, एंड देयर वाज वन मेंटी हु वाज लाइक वेरी क्लोज टू मी. हर नेम वाज एनी. Now, Annie is like, this girl who is like super, you know those girls, right?
Yeah.
Full of life, and you're like, hey, Manmeet, hi, Harry, hey, everyone, this and that.
Yes.
So Annie was like that, right? But, one day what happens is, Annie just comes in, all right? I don't know what happened. I was just like editing video. Annie comes in and she's like, hi, Harry. And she's just like walks by. And I was like,
What happened?
yeah, exactly. Then afterward, then I just felt she went to Dev sir, right, to talk something. Then I just like went back to editing my video. Then suddenly after like 5-10 minutes, while I was editing my video, तो वहाँ पे म्यूज़िक का फाइल होता है, राइट? तो मैं वो म्यूज़िक का फाइल प्ले कर रहा था, और मुझे उस म्यूज़िक के फाइल में कुछ रोने का आवाज़ आ रहा था. एंड आई वाज लाइक, ये म्यूज़िक के फाइल में कोई साउंड का इफेक्ट तो नहीं है नीचे, ये रोने का बैकग्राउंड म्यूज़िक कहाँ से आ रहा है? फिर मैंने हेडफोन्स निकाले, एंड आई सॉ दैट इट वाज नॉट द म्यूज़िक फाइल, इट वाज एनी हु वाज एक्चुअली क्राइंग. And it was not a normal cry. It was literally the cry. You know those cries, right?
Yeah.
The cries out of frustration.
Yeah. When you just feel that हो गया है बस.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
last moment kind of cry.
Yeah.
You know, it was like that.
Yeah.
And and at that point, I was like, यार ये क्या हुआ? I was like so nervous. ऐसे टाइम पे समझ नहीं आता
Yeah,
ना, अब
right.
क्या करे कि मतलब उनके पास जाए, उनको सहलाए या फिर वीडियो एडिट करते बैठे. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, देव सर वहाँ पे उनको ही देखने दो, मैं वीडियो एडिट करते बैठा. बट मेरे पूरे कान पीछे थे. एंड व्हाट आई कुड हियर फ्रॉम एनी इज दैट again and again, like she was repeating the same thing. She was telling to Dev, sir, Dev, I'm a mom. I also have my own job, 9 to 5 job. मेरे 2 kids है, मेरे 2 बच्चों की एग्ज़ाम है. मुझे उनको प्रिपेयर करना पड़ता है, घर का भी ख्याल रखना पड़ता है, हस्बैंड का भी ख्याल रखना पड़ता है, सारा घर में देखती हूँ और जॉब भी देखना पड़ता है. अब मुझे कोचिंग में भी जाना है. मैं सब कुछ लाइक कर लेती हूँ, बट मुझे वो टाइम ही नहीं मिल रहा.
Right.
That's what she said. And not just that, her most major concern was, I'll tell you, her most major concern, और ये वो बार बार कह रही थी कि देव, मैं वीडियोस तो शूट कर लेती हूँ, ठीक है, मैं वीडियो शूट कर लेती हूँ, बट उनको एडिट करना बहुत जान पे आता है.
Got it.
और वो उसके वजह से वो पढ़े के पढ़े ही रहते हैं. यू सी, एक ऐसी प्रॉब्लम विच वॉज नॉट जस्ट अ बर्निंग प्रॉब्लम, बट दे एक्चुअली हैड द पेइंग पोटेंशियल एज वेल. आई नो, लाइक सुपर डुपर बर्निंग दैट लिटरली अ क्लाइंट वॉज लाइक क्राइंग फॉर इट.
Right.
And I think I was able to see this problem well. And just understanding this problem, I was just able to offer a simple solution to them. कि ठीक है, आपको इतना तकलीफ है, of course शायद मेरा टाइम आप अफोर्ड नहीं कर पाओगे, but how about I do this? I train some people the way I am trained, and I connect them with you. तो आपका जो भी काम होगा वो सारे वो करेंगे, और आप उसके लिए मेरे को कुछ फीस पे करो.
Right.
That's how our business started. That's how the agency started. And making, like the first... मेकिंग दिस फर्स्ट सेल वॉज प्रीटी मच ईजी. इतना बड़ा प्रॉब्लम था, इतने सारे लोग फ्रस्ट्रेशन में थे, तो आई जस्ट हैड टू जस्ट टेल देम कि मैं ये ऑफर कर रहा हूँ. एंड द मोमेंट that I quit the job, I was making a job like 15,000 rupees. The moment I quit the job, next month से I was making like 45 to 50,000 rupees.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I think and you've elaborated it very nicely through that story, is what I understand is when you know your target audience and when you know that problem that you actually have to, like this is the pain point right at,
Right.
when we hit a bar, it has to go in the center. So when you know that exact problem, selling the business or for that matter offering the service becomes very, very easy because the person in front of you is already sold. They're actively looking for a solution.
Yeah.
It's just that you have to be there and offer them to them.
Exactly. And Manmeet, you won't believe, this problem was like so burning, and people literally wanted a solution for it that we have like 97% like client retention rate. अब तक मुझे लगता है 1 या 2 ही clients हमें छोड़ के गए हैं, and only reason was कि उन्होंने अपना खुद का in-house team build कर दिया. That's it.
Right.
It was so burning problem, and still, like if you get like such customer, they just don't leave you, and yeah, that's what it is.
And I think I completely relate to it now when I'm starting to produce content on YouTube. I think that's what happens because I'll be shooting videos, but then I need somebody to sit and, edit them and to give the engagement that the audience needs on YouTube. So I agree to you 100%. And I would, come to a point where I've seen in your journey, since we are a part of the same community, I've seen that a lot of people know you as Harry. And then they know your community, your business, but they associate with the brand called Harry. And then they come to the business brand. How have you built that?
So, basically, I think what you're trying to ask is, how I built my personal brand. That's what we can say.
Yeah.
So, I strongly believe, we all have, as Digital Deepak even says, DD says, that we all have brands.
Right.
So basically, brand is like how do I perceive Manmeet as a person? That's it.
Yes.
And all I did was whatever, especially, forget about everyone else, all right? Whatever my client and my target audience was there, how do I want, how do I want them to perceive me? I was like very cautious always on that. कि अगर मैं कंटेंट शेयर कर रहा हूँ, अगर मैं स्टेटस शेयर कर रहा हूँ, तो ये स्टेटस अगर वो देख रहे हैं, हाउ दे विल परसीव मी एज अ पर्सन. दैट्स वॉट आई वॉज ऑलवेज कॉशियस ऑन. एंड आई थिंक मेरा पर्सनल ब्रांड की जर्नी वही से शुरू हुई. जैसे ही मेरे कुछ इनिशियल लाइक 5-10 लोग आए, राइट, दे स्टार्टेड टू परसीव मी एज एन ऑथोरिटी.
Right, understood. So you were very cautious again of how your target audience is looking at you and listening to you and, looking at what thoughts you are producing in terms of content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And majority, in this thing was that I had to like perceive myself as an authority. Or authority कैसे आएगा? See, there's this quote, that I, like learned from Grant Cardone. So Grant Cardone says this very well, that use power against power to become more powerful.
Right.
So what this term actually means is, see, now I completely understand. I come from a humble middle class family. I don't have any business background. Nor my dad does, nor my mom does. Family में कोई business नहीं है. ना ही मैंने कहीं सीखा है और आसपास में कुछ ऐसे लोग भी नहीं थे. So I knew that beginning में अगर मुझे successful होना है तो मैं अगर खुद से ही सारी चीज़ें करूँगा मैं नहीं कर पाऊँगा.
Exactly.
Success होने के chances बहुत कम है. So the thing for me was pretty clear. Use power against power to become more powerful. Now अभी सबसे ज़्यादा power and power क्या था जो market में already powerful थे. And this way influences.
Yeah, right.
I used the person that I actually like did apprenticeship with, Dave Gadvi. I used his brand, right? क्योंकि मैं उसके साथ work करता था, right? I used his brand and like positioned myself as a person who is actually working with him. So now like this thing, what happens is if you like start working with authority, people automatically assume you as an authority.
Exactly. Got it. Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I did.
True.
And if you see right now, like that's what I have been still now doing with every single thing that I do.
Absolutely.
Anik Single, Didi, Siddharth, like all of my clients, right?
Absolutely. If I am understanding this correctly, I think you used networking in the most right way to be in the circle where you want to be.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Exactly. So that's what I did, and I think this is just the one thing which I believe I was able to do right, which is use power against power to become more powerful. And then later, I got to know about this concept, which was called as leveraged authority.
Yeah.
This I heard from Dan Locke. That's what he talks about. So like you don't become an authority, just from building it from scratch, but you actually leverage authority, from like other
Exactly.
places. And that's what I found like every single person was actually doing. And that's what I did. So now once I got to know that this concept of authority, अब मैं authority था, but second thing was actually showing other people that I am authority.
Right.
Because there were other people with me as well who were actually working with Dave Gadbi, but they were not able to use the second step, which is
Right.
actually to showcasing them. And यहाँ पे मुझे लगता है majority of लोग गलत हो जाते हैं. And hopefully, like with the power of video editing, ये सब मैं करता था. Then I automatically became comfortable with videos, and I actually started showcasing वो authority जो मैं दिखाना चाहता था. And that's how people actually automatically perceived me as an authority, and then I got like one opportunity after opportunity after
Right.
opportunity.
I have a few thoughts here. Like one, you mentioned that, build your network in a way that you are with people who have an authority and you become a leveraged authority. And I absolutely agree to it. And the second thing you said is, and I very rightly agree to it, that you were not the alone one. And a lot of people are not the alone ones in the community that they're trying to leverage authority from. There are a lot of other people. But why do some people move forward and get that leveraged authority? So one reason I understand is you said that you were doing services so good enough that you were, in the showcase. But I really feel that a lot of people have a lot of good services, like jump for kaam karte hain, but then still they are not able to move forward. And people who are, maybe a little above average and have scope of learning still can come forward. I mean, do you have any thoughts? What could the reason be?
So about those people like who move forward and those who don't. So I don't know. I don't know. Might be see. I'll tell you my example, right? So there was this person, who was working with me as well, like while I was working with Dave Gadvi. But right now, if you see, he's still doing the same work, and I'm doing like completely like zameen asman pura alag, right? So if you see, कि क्या reason हो सकता है? See, number one, no doubt, I would say like desire.
Yeah, the hunger again.
Exactly. So I had that desire. So that's what I would say. And second thing is also that you actually need to have the adaptability and learning skill, right?
Right.
Because and by adaptability I mean actually like showcasing, like outside that how again this is where it again come back, कि showcasing yourself as an authority and like marketing yourself.
Absolutely. And I would want to ask, like you've mentioned again that showcasing yourself as an authority.
Right.
So how did you showcase yourself as an authority in front of other people? Was it through content or did you use another medium?
I think that's really a good question, like how to, like position yourself as an authority. See, the number one thing, that I did was, first thing, which I think like everyone should do and which even I did was, most people make this mistake that they think that if they are getting like 10,000 views, they are an authority. And I'll tell you, this is such a bullshit. I'll tell you. I'll be very straight.
Yeah.
I'll be very straight. See, I'll tell you. So when I started to work with Dev Gadvi, all right, the only thing that I did was whatever I used to do. I just used to shoot like quick video, all right, quick video, और कि मैं देव गढ़वी सर के लिए ये वीडियो ऐड एडिट कर रहा हूँ और फिर इस वीडियो ऐड में मैंने ये 10 एलिमेंट्स इंक्लूड किए हैं, इस 10 एलिमेंट की वजह से ऐसे इंगेजमेंट में फ़ायदा होता है, राइट. सो आई जस्ट शॉट दैट वीडियो एंड आई यूज्ड टू जस्ट लाइक रैंडमली पागलों की तरह लाइक दिन के एक दो वीडियोस लाइक फेसबुक पे डालो, लिंक्डइन पे डालो, जस्ट लाइक स्पैमर. आई यूज्ड टू डू दैट, right? And you won't believe the kind of like and engagement I had. It was like 1 like, 2 like, 3 like. But you know what? This is what I felt, that no matter if people engage with you or not, they are always watching you.
Yeah, yes, I absolutely agree.
And here's where the twist comes in. I get on a call with this person. His name, again, I won't name this person, but right now he has like 2-3 million something subscribers on YouTube. He was like crazy person. People love to like work with him. He was like godfather, call it of his own field.
Yeah.
I get on a call with this person just to understand like my market ki unko kya taklif ho rahi hai, right? अब मैं अपना audience research कर रहा था तब. And then you know what I said? I asked this question, if there was like one thing that I could do for you, what it would be? तो उन्होंने ना कहीं मुझे ये hint दिया था कि हैरी, जैसे तुम देव सर के लिए लाइक वीडियो ऐड एडिट करते हो, मैं चाहता हूँ कि तुम मेरे लिए भी करो. एंड आई वाज लाइक, आपको कैसे पता चला कि मैं देव सर के लिए वीडियो ऐड एडिट करता हूँ?
Your content.
Exactly. And उनका एक भी लाइक नहीं था, उनका कभी कमेंट नहीं था, बस वो फेसबुक पे मेरे फ्रेंड थे, that's it.
Right. Yeah, people are always watching.
Yeah. So that's what the thing is. So coming back to your question, which was like number one, which was like 10,000 view, that's not it. Even if you have like less audience, just like be like hero for them, right? If you can be a hero for less audience, फिर जब आपका number बढ़ जाएगा, फिर आप उसमें automatically hero हो जाओगे.
Right.
So that's the first thing that I would say, and create content for that small audience. So if you could just nail that like one thing, then I think it's pretty much sorted. So I just understood like my first the initial audience, उनके साथ मुझे traction मिला, revenue भी आया वहाँ से, and eventually like one thing led to another. But this was the most important like starting point, which I think most of the people miss. और यहाँ से फिर of course आगे भी ये like रास्ते है, but this is the most essential part to just position themselves as an authority. तो जैसे ही फिर आपने start किया, which is by serving your existing audience, भले ही वो उनका नंबर कितना भी हो, फिर उसके बाद में फिर ये पॉइंट आता है कि आप कैसे लाइक मासेस के लिए कंटेंट क्रिएट करते हो. बट आपका इनिशियल लाइक एक सब्सक्राइबर बेस जिनके लिए आप कर रहे हो, यू शुड बी लाइक वेरी क्लियर ऑन इट, एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई वाज.
Okay, got it. Great. So what I've understood from you is that less is more, and start with less is more, and eventually you will get more and more, but begin with the less is more strategy. Yeah. And use content as a power tool to power and
exactly. more powerful.
What we've been talking about. And I would want to know that, are you using content strategy? Like, these are the videos that I'll post in this month, these many Instagram reels, this much of content on LinkedIn. Or is it that you get a thought, you get an idea and you post it? So how do you go about it?
So I'll tell you, Manmeet, it's such a crazy scenario, that actually happened. So before, while I was beginning, I needed clients and all, right? So almost like 3 to 4 months, I started posting content like anything मतलब जब भी लाइक मन में आता था कंटेंट शूट कर लिया और डाल दिया, कंटेंट शूट कर लिया डाल दिया, क्योंकि मुझे पता था इनिशियल मेरे 10-20 लोग हैं, मुझे इनके लिए कंटेंट बनाना है, और अगर वो भी कन्वर्ट हो जाते हैं देन आई एम लाइक प्रीटी मच सॉर्टेड. बट उसको देखते लाइक 100-150 लोग थे, राइट? सो when I was with Dev Gadvi, so initial like 2-3 months I created content like hell. उसमें मेजॉरिटी मेरा फोकस हमेशा वीडियोस की तरफ होता था, एंड माय मेजर फिलोसॉफी बिहाइंड क्रिएटिंग कंटेंट वाज ऑलवेज टू डॉक्यूमेंट योर जर्नी एंड शोकेस पीपल व्हाट एग्जैक्टली यू आर डूइंग. आई थिंक दैट्स द मोस्ट सिंपलेस्ट वे दैट एनीवन कैन एक्चुअली स्टार्ट विथ. तो क्या हुआ, जैसे फिर मैं खुद के जर्नी डॉक्यूमेंट करता था तो लोगों को दिखता था, ओह ये हैरी है, हैरी कौन है? हैरी वो है जो देव सर के साथ काम करता है. ओह, देव सर के साथ काम करता है, ऑथोरिटी आ गया.
लेवरेज अथॉरिटी.
राइट. तो अभी हैरी को सुनो, तो हैरी वीडियो एडिट कर रहा है. ओह अच्छा. तो मतलब ऐसा लाइक सब लोग इनिशियली लाइक समझते थे. तो जैसे ही वो चीज़ हो गया, आई थिंक आफ्टर 2-3 months आई वॉज लाइक सो मच फिल्ड विथ क्लाइंट्स. इतने सारे लोग लाइक अलग अलग चीज़ें ये सब कुछ पूछते थे दैट आई लिटरली हैड टू स्टॉप क्रिएटिंग कॉन्टेंट, ताकि और लोग ना आए और क्लाइंट्स ना आए. मैं संभाल ही नहीं पाता था. That's when I actually stopped like creating content. That's what it actually happened. So my strategy like earlier while I actually like begin, it was pretty simple. Just document your journey, number one. All right. Number two was chop it out and create micro videos out of it. तो ये माइक्रो वीडियोस मेरे जाते थे फेसबुक पे, लिंक्डइन पे और इंस्टाग्राम पे. कुछ आगे नहीं देखा पीछे नहीं देखा, बस डाल दिया. राइट. उस टाइम पे टिकटॉक भी था तो वहाँ पे भी डाल देता था. राइट. सारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे डाल दिया. और फिर उसके बाद में मैं उनको करता था प्रमोट करता था व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स में, और फिर व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस पे, और फिर मतलब जहाँ पे भी मैं अगर किसी को लाइक पर्सनली भी अगर मैं फॉरवर्ड कर पाया तो मैं वो भी करता था. सो दैट्स हाउ आई यूज्ड टू प्रमोट. एंड वहाँ से ही लाइक जस्ट वीडियोस से मेरा वो चीज़ शुरू हुआ. बट अभी भी मैं कंटेंट को लेवरेज करता हूँ, बट अलग तरह से. राइट नाउ आई डोंट नीड टू क्रिएट लाइक कंटेंट टू अट्रैक्ट क्लाइंट, बिकॉज राइट नाउ द सिनेरियो इज डिफरेंट. आई मीन लेट्स एग्री ऑन दिस, राइट. हु वुड एवर गेट अ सिंगल एज अ क्लाइंट जस्ट बाय क्रिएटिंग कंटेंट?
राइट.
That is just doesn't make sense, right? अभी मेरा marketing channel अलग है, but right now still I use content, but I create it like for a very specific community. Right now I just do like the text videos, and that I do just for my students, ताकि उनकी थोड़ी सी help हो जाए, just out of gratitude, that's it. तो उनके लिए text करता हूँ, और कभी कभी कुछ बहुत ही like कुछ students को ये सब doubt ये सब रहे तो just like randomly खुद का video बना करके डाल दिया. So right now I'm very light on content क्योंकि उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है.
Right. Very interesting approach, and especially the last bit where we were discussing that people who need clients, when they create content to a certain level, when they get clients from that content that they were trying to get, after that they run short of time is now because they have to handle delivery, and then creating content becomes a challenge. And would you say that using this approach of creating content is for delivering clients, or is it more for coaches to get more students because that is scalable?
Right. So if we just term this into like two things, right? So earlier, I mean, I personally was a agency owner wherein we were just like हमारा model, it's time-based model, right? We are just trading our time for money, और फिर उसके बाद में team का time trade करे for money. So that's not much scalable, right? So उसकी वजह से I created content, I got clients, and then I stopped it because हमारा bandwidth limited था. But let's say if you are a coach, all right? Let's say you are a coach, right? You're creating courses for your personal brand, right? How can someone really make most out of their personal brand? So अभी यहाँ पे तो limitation तो कुछ भी नहीं है. 1000 कोर्स सेल हो सकते हैं या 1 लाख कोर्स सेल हो सकता है.
Right.
Content बनाते रहो फिर.
Right. So basically, using content as a tool for scalability is a better approach.
Exactly, and that's what I'm doing right now, which is I'm creating my own courses. So these courses are like usually best around, number one is for coaches who want to like the way I actually generated lead for my business. If there are like some agencies or it's like people who want to generate lead for their business, how they can do it, that's what I'm creating course on, number one. Number two is on those people who want to learn video editing as a skill. That's the second course. Now once I do both of this, now then I can start like creating content for both of this. So eventually अगर उनको ज़्यादा सीखना है तो वो उसमें आएंगे, and then afterward one thing will lead to another.
Absolutely. And I know you have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Looking at your journey, learning about you, meeting you has been absolutely wonderful. And I know you have a long way to go. And then I am going to use my leveraged, powerful authority from you by being with you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harry. Thank you for doing this. This was absolutely amazing. And I've learned so much from you. I've got so much insights. And I'm sure everybody watching this podcast would have tons and tons of takeaways from this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Manmeet. You were really a great interview. The kind of question that you asked and the curiosity that you had for listening, that was quite amazing. That just led me to give answer more passionately. So thank you so much, and all the very best to you.
Thank you so much, Harry. Thank you so much.